We thought we had a little chat about motion control gaming, and now that all the three giants are out with their things, well, I mean, Nintendo have been out quite a while with their stuff, but Sony came here in September with Move, and now we've gotten Kinect as well, and thought we'd just share a few thoughts on it. And is it the future of gaming?
I don't know. We were asking that question in 2006, and I'm not convinced that that is the real future for the hardcore gamers. But I mean, if you look at the sales, it is the future, and it is the now in many.
Present.
It's the present, exactly. Yeah.
I think personally, Xbox are trying to tap into the more casual gaming community. I mean, they know they have a hardcore group of gamers who will always use the controllers, but I think this is an in for them. I don't necessarily see this as the future personally, but it's a new market group.
I think it's interesting to see how Sony and Microsoft are approaching it differently with Move and Kinect. Microsoft, the first titles they got very casual. They got Dance Central, which isn't just a casual game, but pretty casual stuff. They're not really integrating it into their big hardcore titles like Halo Reach or Fable 3 or Gears of War 3, whereas Sony are like taking a little bit different approach to it. SOCOM 4, Killzone 3, these games will support Move. Do you also feel that that's a big difference?
I think so, and I think it's probably good to at least try to develop those hybrid titles that both use motion control perhaps and the controller. As with Kinect, we've just heard that there will be some of those titles that you both use the controller and your body, because there's a big split with those kinds of games. I mean, if you compare Kinectimals with I don't know, Heavy Rain Move Edition. I think we need both kinds of titles.
And I think one of the issues with PlayStation is they're still trying to find their identity, so to speak. So they are literally just casting the net out there and trying to see what sticks.
I think Sony had a bit of a problem with the quality of their first titles on PlayStation Move. It sort of tainted the whole PlayStation Move thing for me, because there weren't a lot of titles there that got more than like 3 or 4 out of 10, and you know, not really the kind of games that you want to buy a lot of hardware for, and the games themselves, you know, there really wasn't that much to attract me to PlayStation Move, and it feels like it's a little bit, it's like fallen off the radar, even though it's launched only a few months ago.
Yeah, I mean, the first impression is hugely important, and they need a big killer app, and I don't think, you know, like Sports Champions was that title, but it's interesting when you see the PSN games that have come out now. They are really good, actually. Someone like Tumble is one of the best PlayStation Move games, and I don't think that's got enough PR because it's such a small title. So.
Yeah, and also maybe that's something that I would like to see personally with Kinect, because it's a lot to invest 500 Swedish or 50 euros in a game that's, you know, maybe it's fun for a few hours tops, and then the content stops, and perhaps that digital distribution is the solution to making sure that there is content that, you know, actually at reasonable prices, you know.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, PlayStation is desperate for its one big title that will basically be the launch pad for the equipment that they have presently available. I think the beauty with what Nintendo had when they came up with the Wiimotes, when we're talking about motion controls here, is they had the likes of Super Mario Galaxy that was able to integrate that functionality into the gameplay. I think PlayStation, the likes of the Kinect itself, they need one big title, but it's still relatively early days for developers, and who knows, a year or two down the line we might have that big title.
So we're talking about the hardware now a little bit. PlayStation Move, I think everyone can agree that PlayStation Move is a precise piece of hardware. It does what it's supposed to do. How about Kinect? How do you feel about it after trying it a little bit? I know you've tried it quite a lot, but you've tried it a little bit.
I mean, initial impressions is it's a bit laggy. I mean, it could do with tightening the precise reaction times for what you use, and I mean, the games themselves, nothing revolutionary. You flap your hands about and But personally, at the end of the day, at the end of a long, grueling day, you don't really want to be flapping about like some crazy person in front of a screen. There's room for improvement.
Speak for yourself.
There's definitely room for improvement.
Yeah, the thing is, I really want the Kinect to work. I mean, I want it to be like Minority Report when I'm flipping through the menus, and it's not quite there yet. It's not one movements at this period in time. You know. But it would be really cool if, I mean, I'm looking forward to Kinect 2. I really hope that would be the cool thing. So I think this is the start of something, and perhaps not the... we're not in the future yet.
No, and of course the interesting part is that software is such a huge part of that experience, of that hardware experience. And if there is a game that sort of makes better use of Kinect, or sort of somehow magically, you know, is able to take more out of the hardware, then perhaps we'll get a different, you know, different feel for it.
And we've seen that in different games as well. I mean, like a game like Dance Central, perhaps they cheat very well harmonics, because it feels like it's very responsive, and you know, you get immediate feedback from what you're doing. But when you're in the menus of Dance Central, you notice that the lag is there. But so good programming is always good.
I'm excited about what voice control could do in a game where you sit down with your controller and play it, and you know, perhaps you can do some of the dialogue with voice control or voice recognition, or you know, it can sense how you look on your face and maybe react to your expressions or something like that. That could add to an existing game as well.
Yeah, I think so.
But at this point, it's only dreams, right?
Yeah. Well, hopefully the voice control will arrive shortly, so we can call for our Kinectimal pet.
We should mention that up here we don't have voice control yet. It's available in some countries, but you know, unfortunately not here yet. So hopefully soon. Well, I think we have a bit of a mixed response to motion control. We think it's here to stay. I think all of us can agree that. Yeah. It offers something that we haven't really experienced before, which is good, but we still think there's a lot of room for improvement, and I think what we really need is the games to convince us to see that both Move and Kinect are, you know, what we need to spend our hard-earned cash on, or get for free from the publishers or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for motion gaming, and that's it for us.